Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukake, your host. Mudbutt's bachelor party is well underway at the Oasis. Mudbutt barfed on the server, Reginald won at dice, Quinny tried to win a magical prize but failed, and Alan gave in to calling Mudbutt Dad to convince him to look for intel on their target. Will all of the Dum-Dums survive their first bachelor party? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
So you find yourselves outside the Oasis. You manage to kind of, using the knowledge you still have from your previous adventure here of kind of the back stairwells and the emergency exits that Bryn helped you find, you're able to sneak out behind the space to where the Fire Festival is already set up. People are already milling about, but the stage is being prepared for the evening show. What you're looking at is a sort of like a large fairground space. It's been fenced in by like a fancy permanent fence. You can see a bunch of sort of white tents that have been set up there. Little like they look like upside down bowls. So just like rounded, almost an igloo shape. Very lightweight, very cheap. And inside you can see all manner of fantasy millennials hanging out with their possessions, all looking like gently cranky about the situation. The second you kind of step out into the space, you can tell it's overcrowded and kind of underplanned. There just seem to be people everywhere. There doesn't really seem to be anything for anyone to do. And as you exit out into the back, you notice that there's pretty heavy security leading back into the Oasis. So you get the sense that once people who are just here for the festival sign in, they're stuck out here. They're not allowed to just kind of like mill about the hotel property. Now, because you're guests of the hotel, you can come and go as you please. They just can't go back in with you.
Nice.
So the stage is, think like a large music venue, outdoor music venue stage at the far end of all these. So there's all these tents in the middle. There's food and drink stations off to the far left and right, but the lines are crazy. You know that some people are staying in the hotel itself, but the majority of people are staying out here. The stage is huge with kind of a massive red curtain surrounding, kind of lining the back. On the stage itself, you can see a number of currently empty owlbear cages, as well as some things for the owlbears to do. There are sort of massive stone tablets on either side of the stage in sort of obsidian black that seem to have runes carved into them. You're not quite sure what they do. Overlooking all of this are two of those towers that you saw earlier that are kind of just like a straight column with kind of a small, almost observation pod on top of either one. In the distance, you can see airships kind of drifting around. If you'll recall, they tend to dock up at the top of the facility. But perhaps most interesting of all is the massive wooden man that overlooks all of this. So if you've seen either the Wicker Man or Burning Man, this is like bundles of sticks and that sort of thing, built high. And you can see that staff are in the process of taking down a scaffold around this. So this was clearly built recently. So it kind of overlooks the entire venue. That is what you see. There's also you can closer to the stage. You can see basically like a road crew working on getting things ready, as well as Plantier security. So you guys actually haven't directly encountered the Plantiers aside from like Cormium's small delegation at the wedding of Momo, of Dawdle and her Stodalia, and I forget what the villain's name was, but anyway, back there. So you see kind of for the first time that knowing that the Plantiers are heavy magic users, It comes as no surprise that a lot of their security are fire sprites. Thin, spindly figures, seemingly made of living flame, wearing kind of like, Nightwing has that like kind of red or blue, depending on what it is, sort of shoulder to chest V. It's kind of that. So it's just almost shoulder pads coming to a point, sort of mid-chest. And you see the insignia of the Planteers squarely on the chest. And they seem to be just kind of wandering around, keeping an eye on things. What
All right.
do you do?
Tom.
Yes, sir.
Because I am a blood hunter, I have advantage on survival checks to track fae, fiends, or undead, as well as on intelligence checks to recall info about them. Are these creatures fae, undead, or fiends?
One moment, please.
Basically, I just want to know if Reginald would know anything about them. So you can gut check it if you want.
I think they're fae, but I just want to be 100% certain on that.
We can call this a horde check, which is he has had to be a general in enough parts of the horde that those groups have all ended up allied with them at some point or another. So he generally knows.
These fire sprites are elementals, not fae.
Okay, then can I do an Arcana check?
Mm-hmm.
Can I do a history just to see if I know anything?
That's a natural 1.
Cool. What's fire?
I knew what it was once, I'm sure. I used to throw it from my hands.
Yeah, you've never, Alan, you've never fucked with summoning. That's not really a thing you've played with.
Not really.
You're aware of the prospect of sprites and elemental beings being summoned.
Met those wind elementals.
Yeah, totally. But you don't know much about them other than obviously they'll be fire resistant. Also, if Igneous is powerful enough to not really be hanging around right now, you're dealing with some high level magic. Ryan, you can roll a history check. I don't know that you'll get much from it, but you can go ahead.
It's a dirty 20.
So you've seen elementals used on the battlefield before. These ones seem pretty low level. There's certainly enough to... Basically, if we're talking in sort of combat terms, these are good enough to deter low-level people. So, like, if any of the attendees were going to try anything, this is a damn good deterrent because they are made of fire. But they aren't that imposing. You know,
they're not like elemental special forces. They're just
you've seen full blown like elementals in combat, and they're bigger and spookier. These are clearly just kind of honestly what you would employ as low level security. So think minion, not monster, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like we've got a collection of elementals. So what I know about these ones is they're not as big as other ones can be, which means they're theoretically weaker. And the rule of elemental is opposites don't attract. So if we hit these things with cold or wet, it'll probably screw with them. If we hit them with wood or, I guess, air, they'll probably get stronger. You know, fire.
Okay. I mean, I've got cold covered.
I also have one spell that can deal out some cold. And that's kind of it.
Yeah, and this motherfucker's pretty much just a hammer against those guys. And I look at the flaming hammer.
I gotta pee.
Well, hold it in.
Oh, I'm holding it.
Yeah, there don't appear to be bathrooms around here. This place really isn't laid out well.
Mudbutt, as you begin to scan the crowd for bathrooms, you see that next to the food stalls, there are more of these same tents that have been set up, but they have the word bathroom written in a variety of languages above them. And you see a long line of frustrated people standing by. They can't check their phones because they don't have them. So instead they're checking like books.
Well, apparently you can just pee in the right kind of tent. So, I mean, if you look around and see an empty tent, I guess it's a bathroom.
I'm going to hold it and use that as possibly a weapon to help us later on against these sprites.
Yep. Intestinal fortitude, man. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So is there anything you want to specifically investigate out here?
Yeah. I want to check out the stage.
Okay.
Yeah, those stones.
Yeah.
I was looking at that. Yeah.
Concerned about the runes, if that's just decor or if there's actually something else more nefarious.
If that'll only keep like the security will only keep the crowd back, I want to figure out what the real security is. So I want to look at like the setup, because I feel like reverse engineering his skills to get away or break out of anywhere, Reginald would like to figure out how to break in past the security.
Okay. Quinny, how are you doing this? Is this an investigation for you? Are you trying to suss out what the giant tablets are? What's your jam?
I'm going to leave the giant tablets for now. I'd like to kind of understand the layout of the stage to see where this guy's going to be coming from and where he's going to be leaving.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me an investigation check then, please.
It's a good roll. 23.
Damn, that is a good roll. So you can see there are wings to the stage that lead into kind of the back area behind the fence and presumably where kind of the preparations are done. But based on your kind of knowledge of showmanship, that doesn't seem like particularly like that's literally just an inspirational speaker walking out on stage being like, hey, hi. So it's possible. But what really catches your eye is there seems to be a gap in the sort of ceiling of this space. It almost comes up to a circus tent point, and that's left open. So you wonder, from what you can see, either he'll be coming in from the sides of the stage or possibly somehow from above.
Okay.
Or it might just be for lighting. You're actually legitimately not sure.
Or it's just for like the smoke to escape from these fire elementals.
Lots of options.
How close am I to the Burning Man statue?
So it's on the far side of the stage. So it's beyond the stage and kind of the fenced off area. If you were looking at this for safety, it's far enough away that people can't stumble into it when they're drunk.
Okay. What if I wanted to burn it?
You could, it's pretty far away, but if you threw a flaming javelin hard enough, but I will say this is a very, very difficult shot.
Okay. You know what? So before we went outside, I went to the manager and I was like, "Oh, could you pick up my spears? I think they're still stuck in the wall in the kitchen." So then he gave me both my spears back. And I want to get as close as I can to the flaming man statue, but like kind of just like just like inconspicuously wandering around, and I have like a beer with me.
Okay, can you roll me so add one to your beer check, and can you?
Oh, but I'm not drinking it.
Oh, I see. Okay, just prop value. Okay, so let's go with a deception check rather than a stealth check.
Okay, my deception. Oh, it faded away. I think it's -1.
Sounds about right.
What's your charisma?
Hold on, let me check. I took a picture of it too. Let me just see if I'm right. -1.
Yeah, so that would make sense.
Charisma -1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's -1.
Okay, all right. And I get drunk points thrown against me too?
Yeah, that is correct.
All right. 19, so 18. And I still use a D6?
That's correct.
All right. 3.
All right, you're all clear.
All right, so I'm just like stumble over like, oh, what's a Burning Man? What's this? And I kind of just want to get close to it.
So again, you're between the stage and it's kind of so there's the stage itself and then this kind of like big curtained backdrop and then the roof of the stage. Burning Man is beyond that. So the closest you can get is kind of the edge of the stage where the fire sprites start to kind of drift towards you, not in an aggressive way, just in a anytime you're near a place you shouldn't be, security just kind of like saunters.
Right.
But
can I talk to them or?
You can try. So a fire sprite kind of is drifting near you.
Flame on! Hey, hi. Some pretty sick stuff going on. What's going on? It's my bachelor party. I have political immunity. Yeah.
The flame sprite kind of cocks its head and then raises up a hand and throws up the horns at you in sort of flickering fire fingers, and then just kind of like goes back to patrolling. It doesn't seem to be able to speak.
Oh. Okay. So I want to be like sign language. Like I'll flag him down again. Just be like, me party. Me go see big man.
The sprite starts shaking its head.
Yes.
It shakes its head, also thinking you just misunderstood.
Yes.
It shakes its head. A couple other fire sprites start drifting over.
Okay. I want to like very like secretively kind of like unzip my fly and just kind of like still ask them questions. Just being like, well, what's the point of like the Burning Man? Like, do you have to burn it? Is that the idea of it?
They all kind of look at each other and then nod.
Oh, well, like, is it just for fun or is it supposed to like do something?
The same one you saw throws up the horns. And then like literally kind of rocks out to it. And then just gestures like excitedly at you.
Well, it's for rocking on. Okay.
And then it nods and it points at you and then it does devil horns and then it like dances the fire dance.
Oh, I like that. Okay. Well, tell you what. Well, like, why don't you show me it? I'm really intrigued.
They shake their heads.
Okay.
One of them points at a poster that says like show begins 10 p.m.
Okay. So then I go to walk away. I was like, oh, I guess I'll walk away. Ooh, and I pretend to trip, but I trip over the barrier. And I apologize as I do it. Like, I'm not meaning to do this. I'm sorry. and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. And I kind of like, I land on my feet across the barrier and I act like I'm hurt. Like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like apologizing.
They just pass through the barrier and reform on the other side. But they quickly surround you.
Okay. I was like, oh, thank goodness, fellas. Hey, can you all of you go help open the door for me so I can leave the premises?
They start to pulse slightly, and you hear heavy footsteps coming across the stage. Looking up, you see, for lack of a better term, like a biker tough dragonborn. So like dragonoid features, big meaty arms, tattoos everywhere, and she's like kind of huffing a bluish smoke as she approaches, and she's just like, "There seemed to be a problem there, boss."
Oh, hi. It's me. I'm staying at the hotel, and the maitre d' said I have diplomatic immunity. I took a tumble. And I'm on this side of the fence now, and I'm just going to go find my way out. I don't need any help. And I go walking towards the Burning Man statue. It's like, I think the exit is this way.
The fire sprites don't move, so you have to muscle through fire if you want to go that way.
Okay. Then I say like, oh no, I'm losing control of my bowels. and then I just pee as hard as I can in front of me.
It turns into a foul-smelling mist. And then the dragon lady grabs you by the scruff of the neck and the waistband and just goes, "Yeah, here's the thing about diplomatic immunity in the hotel. You ain't in the hotel." And then she tosses you up and over the fence and into one of the tents. You crash into two people mid-coitus. Who are like both like kind of excited that you showed up, but then like they notice that your dong's hanging out. They're like, oh, all right, cool. Yeah, this guy's already halfway there. Come on in, man. Just let us get the tent back up and, we can bang one out.
Hey, I got an idea. Have you guys ever done a fuck run before?
A fuck run?
Yeah.
No, what's that?
It's where you fucking run. So
Okay.
you guys do what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
But then you run right at those fire dragon dudes. Because I heard a secret that fire dragon dudes enjoy fuck runs.
They look at each other and they're like, well, we're on a lot of drugs together, so this plan makes perfect sense to us. Fucking run! And they both just start running, and they're still doing stuff to each other, and they're running, and like it's like slow motion, like Chariots of Fire is playing, like there's just pure joy on their faces. And then they both kind of leap over the fence dramatically, going, yeah! And then the dragon lady punches both of them so hard that they stop midair and fly backward over the fence and land in the dirt. And they kind of look at each other and they're like, well, that was like coughs out some blood. Like, that was an experience.
Did enough time pass that I could have used that to sneak by everybody?
Go ahead and roll a stealth check.
All right.
Don't forget your drunk dice.
Okay. So I rolled a 10 plus -1, then a 4.
Okay. So no drunk dice, but so 9 in total.
Okay.
You as the fucking run folks make their dash to weird kinky freedom, you start like trying to slip around the side of the fence, and you get over the fence. The fire sprites see you because your stealth is shit.
Right.
And as the dragonborn lady security punches the two people back over the fence, the sprites become almost like arrows. Their whole bodies become like sort of come to a fine point. And all 6 of them fly at you. Go ahead and roll me a dexterity save, please.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Okay, I got a 17, and my dexterity is +1, so 18, and I roll my drunk dice, which is a 2.
Okay,
roll it
so
again.
Yeah, roll it
again, which is a 5.
Okay, so you subtract 5, so you're down to 13.
Okay.
Which definitely does not pass. All right, so that is 27 points of damage as the fire sprites slam into you. And
Super duper.
more security starts to spill out and around. And suddenly a blue ripple goes up the obelisks, and a sound kind of comes out of them, and you can see that it's the dragonborn security woman with kind of a stone in front of her mouth, and she just says, yeah, all right, this shit's gone far enough. We're closing it down for the day. The show will begin promptly on time, but I gotta tell you, if any of the rest of you motherfuckers try and get in here, we're just gonna shoot you on sight. All right, great. Enjoy the fire festival, you bastards. And then the blue ripple goes up the tablets, and they go quiet.
Oh, what was it? 27 points of damage?
27 points of damage, yep.
Oh, man. All right. Oops. Okay, equals. Take away 20 equals.
So
86.
what's been happening with the rest of us?
My mom's going to be so disappointed when her husband shows up dead.
So the rest of you follow awkwardly in the way you do at a sporting event if your friend gets ejected for being too drunk, as security drags him back to the hotel, throws him in and gives explicit orders that he's not allowed to re-enter the fire festival premises. One of them says, enjoy your diplomatic immunity inside, sir, as they toss you through the door.
I will. Oh.
You awkwardly zip up your fly and dust yourself off.
Is everyone with me?
Yep, everyone else had to join you because
All right. Not sure if you noticed, I did some recon. P
Yeah, what'd
doesn't
you learn?
work. P doesn't work. The firemen are bad, and the dragon ladies aren't nice and don't like fuck runs.
What, a fuck run?
Oh yeah. Oh, all right.
Those are very popular in the world of perpetual war. Sometimes you got to do both if you want to stay alive. So, did anybody figure out anything that was useful?
Looks like the main entrances and exits are the sides of the stage, pretty obvious, but there also appears to be a way in and out through the top, which, if this is a, big showy entertainer, might be a place we can nab him at if he's on his way out or even on his way in.
Well, is there something that would let us hang in the air? Is there something in this facility that would let us, float over the spot or, soar by to grab someone?
I mean, I could climb up the rigging. Alan, do you have any magic that could get us up there?
I don't know. They have these things in my
no.
world called airships. Do they have airships here? Is there some sort of area where we could get one?
They're pretty conspicuous, though. But yeah, they're at the top of the hotel. That's where they're docked.
All right. So we can sneak in, but we can't even get Mudbutt into the building anymore. So we might need to disguise the king, correct?
Those VIP passes, do you think they trump security? Probably not.
No.
No. So that's a wash then, huh?
Well, if you have
I guess Mudbutt has to just stay here.
Alternatively, if you have VIP passes, you might be able to get yourselves in and then disguise him and sneak him in, but he can no longer enter as King Mudbutt.
Okay. So, no, we can still get in with the VIP passes, especially the three of us. Getting backstage is still important.
Well, we don't have backstage passes yet. We just have tickets.
So, Mudbutt, you pull out your itinerary for the bachelor party, because as much as you do want to kill this guy, you also kind of want to make sure you still get your full bachelor adventure in.
Right, yeah.
Because you only plan on getting married once. So the feats of strength are an evening game event where people can enter the... If you remember, there were the precogs who would build and rebuild the arena that the Forsaken fought in. So think I understand these are quite popular in Thailand, like a UFC fight, but anyone can just sign up, and if you win, you get booze.
Oh, hey, all right.
And in this case, if you go enough rounds, you can get VIP passes, that sort of thing. It's basically the hotel giving you things that are of value to you, but not of value to them, like VIP passes to a magic show. So the fight's in a little while. Mudbutt, you'd been really concerned because so much time had passed and your buds hadn't responded to your invites that maybe you'd grown distant from them. And I'll leave it up to you whether or not you want to engage in this pre-planned event or not, because I know everyone's kind of on team, let's figure out how we infiltrate. But given that you actually have some downtime right now, you had arranged for a tour of the on-site distillery. And your hope was to play just a nice catch-up game of Never Have I Ever as the four of you took the tour. The tour was one of the most expensive things that you paid for because it comes with a tremendous amount of liquor.
Right.
You'd been pretty excited about it, but now you're a little apprehensive. On the other hand, you feel like there's a distance that wasn't there before between you and your buds. So you have some downtime before the feats of strength. Do you go on the distillery tour or do you go and regroup in the hotel room?
Whatever would help me heal, I think. Would the hotel room help me heal?
I'll say either way, you can take some of your hit die. So what hit die do is when you're on a break, a short rest of an hour, you can spend hit die to regain some health. It'll be listed on your sheet there as hit dice. I think it's like 11D something. And basically that's how many you have. And during a short rest, you can roll those, and that's how much you get back.
Oh, so I could roll like 11D12 and just like...
Yep.
Put all that health back,
sweet.
baby.
D12. Damn.
Well, then...
So we'll say regardless of what you do next, that is assumed to have happened on this next.
Oh, okay. Well, then if I'm going to heal, then I'll go on that tour. And because then maybe we can find maybe there's like a secret passage or something, or we can hide in like a beer barrel and put like I'm explaining this plan to them. And it's like, okay, new plan. So I surprised us with a tour of their distillery. And I'm thinking, because I can't get in there anymore through means outside of my control, that we could maybe hollow out one of those beer things, hide in it, leave a note on it that says, "To the magic man." And then when he says, "I'm parched, I should have a drink before or after my show," and then open it up, and then bam, I slice him in half from the groin to the head.
So as Mudbutt is speaking, I kind of surreptitiously point to Quinny and message whisper, like, God, we have no plan. This is the worst ever. Like, fuck, man, Butthole was like our guy, you know? He always had a way out of things. I don't know what to do.
But he's not here anymore, so we got to figure it out.
And that's my plan.
Well, I like that you don't reveal yourself and then count on him saying, "I'm an idiot," twice before you stab him. So I feel like this is still several steps in the right direction.
It's an improvement. Yeah.
Now, when you say you're going to pop out of a barrel, where am I standing when this happens?
Oh, we're all in the barrel. They're pretty big barrels, as I understand.
Yeah, I'm not going to do this plan.
Oh, okay. You say you're a big fan and you like him and want to give him a barrel. And then the rest of us are inside the barrel. And then you give us like a couple knocks to be like, "Wake up, beer," and then we'll jump out and we'll rip him in half from the groin to the head.
Okay, do you know what? I'm not going to say that that's the worst idea ever, because I'm not in the barrel. So I'd say 50-50. That, or if we can come up with something better in the distillery. There's a lot of chances here. Let's go see how this is going to go. Maybe this tour will help us sort it out.
To the distillery!
Alan, you can do like a gate or dimension door or something, right?
Yeah.
How does that work in terms of sending someone somewhere?
I can bring one person with me.
They go with you? You can't just say push a magician through and the other side is the inside of a vat in a distillery?
Just checking the rules. I don't think so.
Okay. So Alan, as you're quick checking your spell book, the four of you arrive at the distillery. Tyler, what is the distillery in the Oasis called?
What is the distillery called?
You're greeted by the traditional distillery dogs with a couple of happy distillery pup barks.
They stir the beer.
They swim. Yeah.
Of course, that's how it gets the hair in it everyone likes.
Oh.
Yeah. You don't have to floss your teeth if you drink a barrel of dog brew.
You also don't have to drink hair of the dog later.
It's already in you. You're not going to drink it, but you are going to pee it. Then it gets weird.
Ooh. Let's call it...
So they always say, everybody's favorite game, who gets the knot?
All thoughts I had of naming conventions are gone because now I've got knotted dog hair.
So your guide approaches and just says like, "Welcome to Who Gets the Knot. I'm so happy to meet you all." And I understand that it's someone's special day.
Ooh, that's me.
And she walks over and does like a nose boop and then winks and then just throws like a giant pink boa around your neck. And she's like, "Look, I know a lot of the places in the Oasis are very stuffy and very fancy, but that's not what we're about here at Who Gets the Knot. We're about fun. That's why we have so many beer doggos. They're responsible for our dog brow as well as our Poog Ale, which is also very popular. So we've just got boas for you all because, you know, bachelor party. As you can see, I wore my party gear, and she's just wearing like what you would assume a tour guide would be wearing, but it's slightly lower cut than normal. And she's like, And my name is Thumb Pinky.
I'll just write that down.
I will be your guide. So, I know what you're thinking. Okay, we're at Who Gets the Nod. And I'm excited, I'm scared, I'm apprehensive, but I'm ready for fun. Well, I've got good news, my friends. Here, fun comes in all manner of glasses, and it starts with these tiny ones I've lined up for you. And she gestures to a table full of shots. And she's like, in order to get the full experience and understanding of the distillery, you of course need to sample our wares. And we're beginning with our most popular drink. It's called liquid alcohol because basically there's no flavor other than alcohol and no one could think of anything else to call it because it just kind of tastes like what it is. So let's start with that one. Here's to you, big guy. And she hands you your shot first, Mudbutt.
I take the shot.
Great. Go ahead and add one to the drink. For you, as a literally and figuratively raging alcoholic, there's something about tasting your demon so purely that is oddly comforting to you. You know, it's not hidden behind other flavors. It just is what it is, and really works for you. It's pretty delicious. And honestly, again, that part just in the back of your head that you've admittedly been trying to mature past, but that is really all about fun and good times. Just kind of needed this party vibe to come back a little bit. Yeah. So you're grateful for it. The rest of you are handed shots. What do you do?
Can I use prestidigitation to clear away the liquid? Because I mean, I can clean something.
Yeah, but where are you going to put it?
Yeah, I don't think so. Only because then, like in theory, you could like drink poison and just be like, the poison's gone, which is a little too hardy for a cantrip.
Well,
cantrip.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a little too hardy for a cantrip.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Shit.
You can chill, warm, or flavor the liquid.
I mean, flavoring it might not be the worst call because this is rubbing alcohol.
I'm not going to flavor it just because I need to remind myself exactly what I'm drinking and how much it's going to affect me.
Understood.
I'm going to look over at Mudbutt and go, hey, Mudbutt, you ever done a tummy shot?
I think I'm about to.
Yeah, and I lift up the front of my armor and I pour the shot glass into my belly button and I let him drink it out of my belly button.
So butthole.
Mudbutt, add one to yourself. Reginald, you didn't drink it, so you're good, baby.
I'm at 7. What happens?
You're fine for one more.
Okay.
When you hit 8, things change. Tyler.
I'm adding one too.
Yeah, please. What does Quinny do?
I think he'll take it because he just needs a little bit of liquid courage for.
Understood. Yeah. So bump yourself up by 1. It reminds you vaguely of your prison days because this is about as close to bathtub hooch as you've had in a time. So having had the first drink, the distillery dogs bark in unison, which is something that you can tell Thumb Pinky has like worked very hard to accomplish because she stares so intently at you while this happens, because she just wants like some form of
I'll
reaction.
applaud. I just give it a nice gentle couple of claps. It was nice. It's good synchronicity.
She's like, this guy gets it. Great. And she's like, okay, so I understand from the itinerary I was given by Mr. Bachelor that you guys want to play a fun game as we go. So I see you've brought your own barrels, which is fantastic. Liquor license laws are very loose in this casino. So here are some ales you can stock up on. Really depends on your mood. And much like the Simpsons Duff gag, it's clearly like one tube that just empties into 4 barrels. That said, each of them does have a slightly different property. So there is, we'll say, so there's the Poog Ale, which is a lighter in color, kind of golden beverage. There's the Dog Brow, which is just kind of like a light brown. There is Champion Pups, which is a thick kind of almost a porter, like a dark color. And then there's Puppy Surprise, which is honestly it looks
made from real puppies.
Yeah, it looks like a vat of tie-dye. It's full of strange colors and gently sparkles in the light.
Ooh.
Basically, all of these are giant glass vats with a huge tap. So if you bring your barrel over, she'll just fill up your barrel with this, and then this will be your Never Have I Ever beverage for the tour.
Well, I don't know about you, but I am one for surprises. So fill me up with some Puppy Surprise, please.
As you open it and it begins to pour into your back barrel, you hear like the sound of wind chimes and like children's laughter.
I hope I'm not drinking them, but it sure sounds nice.
Thumb Pinky is like, we thought of many things when we made these beverages. It didn't occur to us people would think this was actually what it was made of. I assure you it's just beer.
Oh, okay.
With some magical enchantments on it. But no children were used as testers or as ingredients.
Well, I'd like to absorb some magic myself, so yeah, I'll do this Puppy Surprise business.
Similarly, just like wind chimes, children's laughter, you're pretty sure you hear someone go, wee, in the background.
Oh, man. This drink is the opposite of a war.
But has been responsible for at least one. Yes.
Thumb Pinky, what exactly are these magical effects? I don't like to imbibe something when I don't know the magical consequences.
I understand. We've had some of our best booze mages work their magic on this particular barrel. And as a result, it's just supposed to evoke a sense of delight and wonder, both as it's poured and consumed. So just purely cosmetic effects, you burp rainbows, it fizzes on your tongue when you drink it, and when you pour it, it sounds like happiness.
I drink a glass of it.
Also, Adam just got to 8.
He did, yeah. So as with almost all beers or liquors that have like been retooled to like look spectacular, it tastes pretty normal. It's not great. I've had this philosophy about tea for a long time. I worked in a tea shop, and like all the best looking teas tasted like flat garbage. But like you'd open them, and you're like, oh shit, this is gonna be so good. And you're like, no, it's like drinking a bag of grass. Amazing. So similarly, this is just like just kind of a weak ass beer that they've clearly just dolled up to look fancy. Because you've hit 8, you will no longer be rolling a D6. You've been upgraded to a D8.
All right, okay.
Drink dice. You have a bit of a perma smirk now, and honestly, you're relaxed, you're feeling good. You have occasional uncontrollable bursts of anxiety about how you're going to make things right with your daughter, but you take another sip and that goes away for the moment.
All right.
Probably won't when it's at D10, but at D8, you can still just kind of keep it in line.
Okay.
Oh dear. I'm gonna drink the Poo Gale.
Okay, yeah. So you get a Poo Gale. Alan, you sort of earlier in your life were very much like a wine drinker. So this is kind of a newish experience for you. But it also occurs to you that all the beer you've had has been in like incredibly shitty taverns. Like you actually haven't really ever had nice beer before. This one's like you give it like a sip, not enough to give yourself the point, but
yeah.
It's crisp. It's nice. It's like in the ballpark of like a nice cider. So it's actually kind of refreshing.
I did like ciders when I could drink them.
Yeah. So you're, as things you've had to drink in this place go, not bad.
All right.
Quiddy.
I'll take the dark ale.
Sure. The Doggo Champion, I think. Pupper Champion?
I think.
Champion Pups.
So you get the Champion Pups. It pours slow, kind of molassesy and sludgy. But you're actually kind of relieved to see that, because it means that you won't physically be able to chug it, and it's something that you can nurse pretty safely for the rest of the trip. Yeah, and you give it a sniff, and it smells like just a like not unpleasant, but heavy. Like this is going to be kind of like drinking a loaf of bread.
Right, okay. A meal in a glass, as they say.
Yeah. Looking at the kind of look of vague confusion and slight disappointment on Mudbutt's face, you feel like you made the right call. Plus, now that you're talking about climbing, rigging, staying somewhat sober is slightly more top of mind. So, having loaded up your drinks, Thumb Pinky has basically offered to lead and facilitate the game of Never Have I Ever as she gives the tour. I'm not going to give the tour of a place that doesn't exist, but just imagine that you're on it and you're seeing all the sights.
It's like every brewery tour. It's 20 minutes too long, and they gave us the beer up front, so it's probably the best I've ever heard of.
And there's like one really cool section with a bunch of tanks that looks a little bit like GoldenEye, and then everything else is just people putting things in boxes, which you can really just see at home. But she's very enthusiastic and guiding you around. So I think the way we'll start this is everybody gets one. And we'll see where we go. The rules of Never Have I Ever are, of course, that if your character has done the thing that is being asked, they must drink.
And when you're proposing it, is it something that you have done and there you're proposing it?
There's some debate about this. Generally speaking, it's supposed to be something you haven't done. Because you're in theory, it's like the most outrageous thing you could think of. And then one of your friends doesn't. You're like, what? You made out with Patrick Swayze? But I've also seen it done where it's, I want to brag. So it can also be something extraordinarily specific that clearly only you have done. So that you can drink and look at everyone slyly being like, never have ever made out with Patrick Swayze. And then you just drink and everyone goes, okay, so you just want to tell that story clearly. So it's up to you. But again, it's your characters and how they would approach this. If they kind of think this is bullshit, you can also tank the question. It doesn't really matter to me. It's just a matter of what you think your characters would do. Part of the reason, in kind of a meta sense, that I wanted to work this into the story is very rarely are our characters in a circumstance like this. And I was really curious to see what would happen, particularly given that they haven't seen Mudbutt in a long time and that Reginald isn't Butthole. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Might be more questions, might not. So Thumb Pinky looks at the four of you and points at Mudbutt. And she's like, all right, Mr. Bachelor, it's your party, so why don't you kick us off?
Guilty. Wait, what? I got to ask the question?
Yeah, that's how the game works.
To start, yeah.
All right. Okay. Never have I ever pooped in a lake. And then I just take a chug.
Okay, add one.
All right.
Yeah, I'll drink to that. That feels like something.
Is it something you did or something you think Butthole did?
I think if it was Reginald himself, he would have an internal debate about whether it was a pond or a lake. But he's done it, and believably Butthole must have. So I think he would drink.
Cool.
I've pooped in the sea. That's different.
Now, hold on. I got to specify. It's not like you're in a boat and you poop in it. You're in the lake, and then you poop in the lake.
Yeah, but if you're on a boat, you have to poop off the boat into the water. So that's still pooping into the ocean.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Like you're in the lake, pooped
You're
in
submerged.
a lake. Yeah, but yeah.
So you're saying like I've pooped. Should we rephrase it to like I've pooped while I'm swimming?
I wasn't swimming. I waded waist deep into a lake near Winchester and I pooped.
Well, I wish I could take back the drink I just drank, but you know what? I'm committed. Also, guys, this is the best beer I've ever tasted.
Right? I wish I was a better father.
Well, drink more. Drink more, and all the wonder will come back to you.
All right. So Thumb Pinky kind of nods in approval, and she's like, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. You know, once we had someone poop in one of the vats. Not as fun. Not as fun as the lake. We fired them. Don't worry.
Dog.
It was a while ago. Yeah, well, it's fine. He found work on a popular touring children's show where he solves mysteries now. They call it blues poos. It's quite a thing.
I thought you were talking about Scooby Poo.
Oh, no. As I understand it, Scoobert Poo has been working in showbiz since he was just a little pup. We had Scrappy here for a bit, but none of us could abide him. It really felt like we jumped some kind of shark when we got there. In any case, good work, Mr. Butt. And because you asked the question, you get to choose who asks the next one.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go with my old buddy here, Reggie Butthole. Reginator, let it rip.
All right. Never have I ever had to torture someone for information using my own hands.
What do you mean by using your own hands?
Or magic.
Ah, shit.
Well, Quinny takes a drink.
Alan takes a drink.
I think I did that. That was like my first adventure. I had like a
you tortured the guy in the barrel who came back later as a Kool-Aid Man villain.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like,
You tortured someone first episode ever.
Yeah, so you all drink, and Thumb Pinky keeps a very chipper poker face and is like, great, okay. Poop in a lake, torture with your own hands or magic, very inclusive, appreciate that. Wow. Okay, well, I was going to ask for a tip, but now I think you guys are good. It's cool. It's all good. Okay.
I've got a tip for you, and it's if you need to do some torturing, get someone else to do it, and then you don't have the same nightmares.
oh, burn. I've reached 10 drinks.
You're now on a D10, sir.
All right.
Also,
okay.
here are the last 10 chips I had from the casino. They're yours. You're doing great work. I'm not trying to scare you.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. Thank you. There's a scroll of Command Undead that I really, really want. That's great.
Well, I hope you'll be happy with a potion of bull strength.
No, I guess. She kicks the ground like a despondent child. Okay, if you'll follow me up these metal stairs that lead to a metal walkway that leads to different metal stairs, we'll continue the tour.
Clomp, clomp, clomp. All right, so it's my turn to ask a question. I'd say, what about you, little guy? All right, Quinny.
Quinny's just going to try and like keep it simple, keep this thing moving. He's like, never have I ever been invited to a bachelor party. So cheers. Thank you very much, Mudbutt.
Wait, I haven't been invited to a bachelor party, but
So
it's my
you don't
bachelor
drink either.
party, so I had to invite me.
Hey, Mudbutt, you want to come to this bachelor party with us?
Oh,
Nailed it.
yeah,
All right, everybody
okay.
drink.
Fuck.
All right, up we go.
I'm at 11. All right.
Get that D12, baby.
Okay.
Cool. So, Quinny, there's only one person left to ask, so have at it.
He just gestures to Alan and says, Alan, let's hear it.
Never have I ever been king of a nation. Whoop!
Come on, Alan.
All right, that's you two. Go to town.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
wait.
takes a drink.
Okay, but if I started as a prince, but then I couldn't come the king because then my dad turned into that zombie castle, but then my
You did
wife
get coronated in Uncle Jim Jim's.
All right, okay.
You snorted some Ramsey. May he rest in your circulatory system somewhere.
Sorry, Quinny.
I am at, I've lost count. 2,
12.
4, 6,
You're 12.
8. All right, I'm at 12.
So Mudbutt and Quinny drank. Mudbutt, you notice that Butthole did not drink, which seems strange because last you heard he was king of Akka, but now he's not. Can you roll a wisdom save?
Okay, wait, me? Yeah.
Yep.
We should be in the clear.
4. Wisdom is
Not gonna matter.
1. No, okay, all right.
This all tracks. This is good.
I don't expect him to drink if I am not the drinking king of my town.
And with that, you come into the gift shop for Who Gets the Knot. And there's like magnets of knots. And, more booze. There's like novelty flasks, T-shirts, tote bags inexplicably, like it's a fucking museum. But Pinky Thumb's like, okay. Or sorry, Thumb Pinky's like, that's our tour. I hope you all had fun. You're free to keep whatever's still in your barrel for enjoying later. I have been Thumb Pinky, and oh no, ninjas! And she points up, and she points behind you, and you all like turn, and there's like a skeleton ninja walking by, and he's like, "Oh, no, sorry, Pinky, it's the next one. We already did these guys. Hey, hi. Thanks for taking the ninja skeleton stunt tour. You guys were great. You were great. The acid and the fire stuff was real fun. That was real good.
I lunge at him with my axe.
Go ahead and roll.
All right. I got a 10.
Don't forget your drunk dice.
I got a 10, which is what is my axe at? 5. No, 8. 18 minus.
Roll your d12.
Minus.
Wait, so it's
9.
only you only get a no. So if you roll your d12 and if it's a 1 to 6, you take a disadvantage. But it was a 9, so you're fine.
Okay. So I think I had 18.
Yep, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
All right. What do I do again? It's 1d6 plus 4.
Okay, so technically the drunker we get, the odds actually don't get worse that the alcohol affects us. It's just the amount it affects us gets worse.
That is correct. The odds always stay the same, just the consequences get much, much higher.
I deal 9 damage.
You just chop him in half. Like, there's no contest. He's like, oh, God. Ow. Oh, no. My bones.
I saved my daughter.
She's like, yep, you sure did, sir. No need to torture anyone here. Okay. Well, and she gets out like a dustpan, and she's like, sorry about that, Gary. I'll get you out of here. Listen, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the tour. I hope you enjoy the rest of your special day. If you hear the door lock behind you when you leave, just like that, it always makes that sound. It makes people very confused. Okay, well, bye then. And she kind of like ushers you out the door. And you hear the door like close, click, like metal arm falls down and the lights click off. And you can kind of vaguely see her hiding.
Thanks, Thumb Pinky. We learned a lot on your tour.
She was great. That was the best Pinky I've ever seen in my life.
So I don't think we actually came up with a better plan, but what's the next thing on our stupid list?
Actually, I've got another one for Never Have I Ever.
Okay.
Never have I ever been a crappy stepfather.
Oh, I'll drink to that. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, no, hold on. Hey, kid, look, my name's your dad. And if you find out that we're so good together, you just look, your mom, she comes over. She says to me, like, I like my kid. And I said, I like you and I like your kid. And I'm going to be the best dad ever. And I made you that sign and you didn't like it. And Richard, he told me, he was like, you tried. And I held him. And I held him like a little baby. And I just want you to love your dad.
Never have I ever cried during my own bachelor party. Drink.
Alan.
I gotta go to the drink now. Gotta find.
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is just get him to fucking pass out.
Dial it back.
He's a liability right now.
I'm at 13. I gotta find out when the show begins to get the vengeance with me.
You hear sort of a tone over the loudspeakers in the hotel. And a voice just says, the feats of strength will be beginning momentarily.
Get me at the strength feats. I'm going now. And I kind of head over to where the feats of strength are.
Hey, Reginald, can you do this instead?
Instead? I'm going to do it with him.
He's in no condition to do this. What?
That doesn't matter. He's going to compete. I guarantee you, there's no rule in the, no rules fight club where you fight for weird prizes the casino owns where they're like, no, that guy's too drunk. If that's a rule, this sport doesn't exist.
Yeah, he stumbles up to the gate, and there's a sign that has like it's like an eye chart, and they're like, "Pardon me, sir, can you read this?" And it just looks like blurry nonsense to you, Mudbutt.
Give me the doctor's house so I find out where my dog went.
Good, this man is drunk enough to ride. Hop in, sir. And then they the next person comes up. They're like, "Can you read this chart?" And they're like, "Yeah, Z, age." And they're like, "No, you're too sober. Get out of here. Just get out of here. Nope, this is not for you."
Wait, does the next person fight him or someone else?
You can sign up inside. This is just to get in the door.
Oh, yeah, I want to do this. I'm very strong, and, I'm also very handsome. I don't know if you realize I'm kind of a big deal.
Okay. Hey, anybody ever tell you look like the Forsaken?
I've heard that before. That's why I have his book. I mean, I look back at Quinny. I am the Forsaken? Is that it?
Just be ambiguous. Oh,
do
so
the Forsaken
fucked.
voice.
Just deeper and stupider than yours.
Forsaken. Come on.
I'm the Forsaken.
Nope.
Oh, that's weird. That's off. But it's been a few years. Maybe you should stop smoking. Anyway, come on in, Mr. Forsaken. Is that Murder Child with you?
Yes,
No.
Murder Child is also competing. And this is my friend, Skeleton Woman who hates her dad.
Oh, that's a mouthful. I can't wait to see that on a t-shirt.
I probably won't move much merch, but it's the truth. Come on, Skeleton Woman who won't move much merch.
What?
You're fighting too. Let's do this.
Why?
Everybody's fighting. Get in there. You're drunk. Shut up.
I am not strong.
And I just usher them both in.
Jesus.
We're all gonna die.
And that's where we'll leave it for today.
This episode of Dum Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, our special guest, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum Dums and Dragons. Dum Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christian Menicola, Long, the Half-Blind Prophet, James Cuellar, DM Rob, Christopher Little, Joshua White, Olin Anderson, Sue One, Devin Boyce, George Dolby, One True Artistry, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.